Welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is a collective coffee. Oh my god. You two would knock it off. We're gonna talk about the terrorist attack. Get out of my face, Dea. Oh my god. The terror attack that happened at 3 a.m. this morning in New Orleans. Because there's a lot of propaganda about this right now. So I want to talk to you guys about this and make sure people are aware. Alright, we gotta do this inside. Alright, so I just looked up so it's come out that, okay, so what happened, first of all, if you don't know, 10 dead, 35 injured. What he did was he drove his truck. Was there a weapon involved? He drove his truck into a crowd of people, right? It was New Year's Eve. People were drunk as fuck. It's New Orleans. They're always drunk as fuck in New Orleans. We don't need a New Year for that. New Orleans attack. All right, here's the latest update. He was a 42-year-old Texas man who was also he is a veteran, a U.S. veteran. The FBI is investigating the deadly incident as an act of terrorism, and the Bureau said in the statement the FBI is looking into any possible, it's cut off, but they are talking about how he didn't work alone. Okay, so they're setting the stage for this person to be a terrorist, and his name, what was his name? I don't know. Did he die? I don't know. But what I want to talk about, okay, New Orleans terror suspect had an ISIS flag on truck that plowed through New Year's Eve. This is from Fox News. That's very important. Oh, yes, he was a black and brown. He looks like he may be Middle Eastern, but he is a brown person. And that's why we're going to talk about this. Because first of all, that tactic of driving your truck through a crowd has happened a lot at protests by white supremacists, okay? So we need to make that connection first and foremost, is that this is a tactic used by white supremacy, or white supremacists. Second thing we need to talk about is the truck used to attack had a Texas license plate and was carrying an ISIS flag, according to the FBI. A handgun, an AR-style rifle, and IED, which is improvised explosive device, were found inside his truck. Supposedly, okay, this is from Fox News. Fox News is not it's laughable. Fox News is not a reliable news source. It hasn't been ever. Investigators have reviewed video of 3 men and a woman placing an improvised explosive device in connection with the car attack. All right, so 3 other men and 1 woman. All right, Pasadena. Why would Pasadena be helping? Is there a Pasadena in New Orleans? Is that the county or something? Anyway, after crashing the vehicle, Jabbar reportedly exited and opened fire on responding police officers. 2 officers were injured during the exchange before Jabbar was fatally shot by police. Okay, so he was killed. The attack left 10 people dead and at least 35 others injured. FBI is investigating as an act of terrorism. Officials have also said that the suspected explosive devices were found in Jabbar's possession, and federal investigators are continuing to assess the threat level. Important things here. FBI is involved, so this has become a federal investigation. Was that ever done when a white man drove through crowds, or school shooters shot shit up? Nah, never. And also, the implications of that ISIS flag. So, okay, this is very fucking important. I'm so proud of you for being here. We're going to talk about how propaganda works right now, and we're going to break this down and understand what this story specifically, yeah, sure, there may be facts in it, but what the way that is being reported, what that's setting things up for. Okay, so here we go. Where's my water? ISIS has been the cornerstone of the whole war on terror since the early 2000s, since Bush, since the weapons of mass destruction. With what's happening in the Middle East, Israel is currently bombing at least 6 countries, Israel and the United States. So the United States is funding all of the weaponry that Israel is using, the entire militarization, because the US and Israel are like butt buddies, okay? So it has come out since this genocide in Palestine has been going on for the past year or so that Mossad agents, so Mossad is like Israel's secret service, essentially. But knock it off, you two. I'm telling you to stop. Oh my god, so excessive. Anyway, Mossad, it's come out from people who were in Mossad, right? People who engaged within this, that ISIS is funded, or there are members of Mossad. So like they're like one and the same. That's the thing about the international policy of the United States that I don't think a lot of people really understand, myself included, even though I've studied in this shit for a really long time, is that the United States is always throwing dirt with one hand and sweeping with the other, and always will come out on top as the savior. Okay, watch any sort of Hollywood movie. There will always be a white man saving the world. Okay, that is representative of what the country does. So while the United States is funding Israel, they also have a hand within resistance of most countries within this fucking world, because the United States is going to benefit. That they've done this. There's over 4,000 military bases that the United States has globally. Okay, so the United States and Israel have been bombing the fuck out of the Middle East forever. But with what's happening in Gaza, and what's been happening for the past year and a half at this point, has led to this global resistance that has been unable to be contained. The resistance of us, the people, has spread like wildfire, which is why we're seeing the repercussions of having our social media platforms taken, or having the algorithms changed, or having things taken down or flagged or fact checked, all of that. If it's not serving, because you need to remember that these platforms are owned by the same people who are benefiting from all of this destruction in the first place, right? Everything that we experience as those on the lower end of this hierarchy, the workers, the lower class, even if you think you're wealthy or middle class, you are considered part of us, right? We're all in this shit together. They keep us apart, so that they can keep control, right? Because you can step on the backs of people when they're fighting, okay? All that to say is the way that so it's January 1st. TikTok ban is starting on January 19th. Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated on January 20th. That is in 3 weeks from today, right? The way that they are setting this narrative up as a person in America, not only a person in America, but a veteran in the United States, being a terrorist. The way that the word terrorist has been used in this situation is incredibly important. And then having an ISIS flag on the back of their truck. What they are doing is they are setting this situation up, whether it happened, whether it's factual or not. The way that the propaganda is being used is going to give Americans the emotional what they're trying to do. I don't think it's going to work this time, at least not for a lot of people, because there's been too much awakening. But what they're trying to do is get that American versus everyone else back, right? That nationalism. They're setting the stage for nationalism against those in the world war stage of the Middle East, okay? ISIS. This is propaganda that those of us who are alive during 9/11 have grown up with. We know how they talk about folks, the xenophobia, the the blatant racism, right? This situation is very interesting to pay attention to, because they also are, as the if the FBI is investigating if he worked alone, we already know the FBI wants to go after people who are within the movement, right? We watched it in spring when the students were setting up these encampments and the militarized colleges and police state. I mean, there has been war waged on our own soil against the police and the militarization against the people. And that's been a constant always, right? Since, forever in this country. But the way that they're going to flip the script on what's going on with the coming things, it's just an interesting time, okay? And it's interesting that they're using the his military or his veteran status. So my heads up would be, they're going to be trying to make this bigger than this one incident, not only for their behalf, but also in the ways in which they want to destroy the momentum, the connection, and the movement that we are all doing in this wake of what's happening in the Middle East. Okay, this disgusting Woodstock. Go outside. You guys want to stay in? I don't want to go out now. It's too cold. They sprayed the fake clouds today and covered up the sun. I have some other stuff I want to talk about quickly. But I don't know. Maybe not right now. So I just wanted to put this here. I think I'm just going to do my media stuff on this channel. I don't think I'm going to do it as a thing that I offer in this community. But I want you to pay attention to the way in which stories are being told, the language being used. And if you have a hard time with this concept, watch the movie V for Vendetta, because that's a really easy way to see how the state, right, the government, the powers that be, utilize language to gain complacency, right, to pacify the masses and to keep people at ends. All right, this is an example of that, because this response has never happened when this tactic, again, has been used for protesters. White supremacists often drive their truck through crowds of people. Police do too. So pay attention to that. And that's all I have for you right now. All right? Peace out. Happy New Year.